As a home buyer or seller, have you ever watched those realtor videos and been like, I don't really care what's going on? That's why I love bringing my past clients on to talk about our experience together and what's gone on. Today, I have a first-time home buyer who got under contract as rates went up of what we thought was pretty high back in the day, back in July of 2022. And now things have changed drastically. So super excited to bring this one to you. Stay tuned till the end because she's going to have her number one tip for buying a home. And she works with a lender and she's a first-time home buyer and she just went through the process. So you want to stay tuned. What's up, everybody? Jeremy Kane, eXp Realty, helping people build wealth through real estate. Love my first-time home buyers, love my investors, love them all, love helping people in their current situation invest wisely and build wealth through real estate. So without further ado, let's jump into this interview with Ashleigh, and I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, please comment, like, whatever you got to do. It's greatly appreciated. Let's go. What's up, Ashleigh? Thank you so much for joining me today. As discussed, Ashleigh is a client, and this past summer, she bought her first home in quite the crazy market. And it was a little bit of a process. We had a limited budget, but we made it happen. And yeah, so tell us about your place. You're all moved in. Everything's good?
Yeah. So like you said, I started looking at homes like early this past summer. And it was right as things were starting to get a little bit chaotic. Rates were not moving in the right direction. But yeah, we originally looked at one and I was like, let's do an offer. And then I got cold feet. I was like, no, take the offer away. I don't want to do it anymore. So that timing just didn't feel good. But then I found my place that I have now, and you really helped me throughout the whole process and getting things together. We put the offer in on that place and it was accepted, and it's great. I'm moved in, just putting like finishing touches and decor and stuff, but yeah, it's been great.
Absolutely. And you're probably a little bit better decorator than I am. But you know what you touched on there is very common. Like you got to the point of buyer's remorse before we submitted the offer. So it was a little less hectic. Some people get to that point, but it's an emotional roller coaster, right? And you found this place and you love it and it's going to work and it's perfect. It's in your price point. And then you're like, okay, like, nah, maybe not. Like maybe I had some rose colored glasses on, and then, you know, it all works out. And this is what I talk to a lot of first time home buyers about is, you know, you're going to find your favorite place we looked at, and that's going to be the one that works out. And most of the time it does. And we were in a pretty hectic market on that buyer side. We looked at some places and it was competitive, and there were some places you're like, I like it. Like, what's going on? And we're like, there's 15 offers. Like, let's not do that because it's not your price point anymore. But take us through, like, after we got under contract, and, you know, that's supposed to be such a joyous feeling. And then you work for a lender, the Ruth team. And so you're pretty in tune to the rates and stuff like that. So you get to the office on Monday or Tuesday and you're like, I got under contract and the news was rough. And you're like, Jeremy, like my rate's higher than I thought. Tell me about that feeling right there and how you work through that.
For sure. So yes, I got in the office. We got all the things, you know, all the paperwork rolling. And then, you know, I'm talking with my lender and he's like, okay, got some news for you. Rates just went up again. And I was like, what in the actual heck? So it's really just a matter of knowing your budget and knowing your numbers and like taking a deep breath and a step back. Because, you know, you and I talk about all the time, the benefits of owning a home far outweigh, you know, the temporary like feeling of angst when interest rates aren't moving in your favor. It's less about the rate and it's more about your budget, your numbers, and what you can afford at the time. So once you just take a second and you breathe and you realize that rates are not the end all be all, there is opportunity when rates fall to refinance into something lower, that if it feels right to you and you can afford it, then take the leap.
Right. And it's interesting because I remember the conversation vividly. I was like, okay, Ashleigh, I was like, I understand that rate sounds higher, but what's your monthly payment going to be? And you told me, and I said, can you do that? Are you comfortable doing that? and you're like, well, it could be better, but I can afford it, right? And that's the most important part. Like, be comfortable in your monthly payment, because no matter what happens with the market, anything, you can go down if you refinance, but that monthly payment. And so I had a feeling, I was like, okay, if you're good, I'm good. Because the last thing I want you to do is call me 3 months later and be like, Jeremy, I can't afford this, right?
No, you're my voice of reason for sure.
And so I commend you for that, because it's definitely a roller coaster. Like, yes, we finally got into something. It's in a good location. It's it's going to suit my needs, whatever. It's not your dream home. Let's be real. But it's like, okay, can you afford that payment? Can we rent it out at some point for that payment, with the amenities you have and all that stuff? So that was really good. And, recently we keep in touch, and we were talking, and you're like, I'm so glad I bought when I did. And tell us a little bit why that is, because if I remember right, you had 60 days left on your lease. So you had kind of some double rent there for a little bit, or an early termination. And tell us a little bit about that feeling of why now you feel that way. Yeah.
I mean, evidently the market just kind of kept going like this, at least rates kept going like that. And it was just a matter of kind of being in tune with that, finding your A-team like you who can educate about those sort of things. And so seeing, how far we've come and where the market went, I'm just so relieved that I was able to get in when I did. And it's all about just taking that first step, because now, I'm locked in at my rate. I didn't have to deal with the rates in the 7s, or now they're in the 6s or whatever. It's my rate, I made it happen. And, there's always opportunity down the line. And I've started building wealth for myself and not my landlord. So that's really great.
Right. And I would bet your rent would be higher if you waited till September, I think, when your lease was up.
My rent was set to increase like another $500 a month. And so that was a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. And it was in like Old Town, Nevada. So not even like in Denver.
Denver's a cool place to be, right?
Yeah.
But that's awesome. And I'm so happy for you. And if you could give a person in your shoes right now, maybe looking to buy this winter or in the spring, what's one thing you would tell them to expect or be ready for in the market?
Expect just crazy emotions. Like I said, you're going to be all over the place. You're going to be so stoked once you start house hunting, and then you're going to put an offer and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I just did that. That's X amount that I just put in on a huge asset. But just know that asset is working for you. It's working to help build stability and long-term wealth in your future. And it just opens up so many more doors. So as I was saying before, if you can make it happen, while it might not be your dream home, it's a stepping stone, right? Everyone starts somewhere. And that would be my biggest advice, is just know your numbers. If you can do it and it feels good, make it happen.
Right. Trust your gut. That's awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
You are definitely one of my prodigy children.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I mean, honestly, as long as I've been in the business, I absolutely love helping people start their journey. Right. And I was lucky enough to do it at a young age like you. And so you're going to be way ahead of the curve. So congratulations, and super excited that we got to work together. And let's keep in touch.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. And again, thank you for everything you did for me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Ashleigh, thanks so much for coming on.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Wow. Just some excellent tips there from a now homeowner, Ashleigh Gutierrez. Super excited that she was able to get in when she did, as you heard. And now she's just in the process of building wealth through real estate, and hopefully she'll be a lifelong client. And so, grateful that she decided to work with me. She knows a lot of realtors. So thanks so much for that, Ashleigh. And I hope you guys got something out of that. If you know anyone who is on that fence, is renting, is waiting for the perfect time in the market, we need to talk today. Not saying it's the perfect time for them or anyone, but there's a Calendly link below. Book them in my calendar. Let's talk. Let's get them on the right track. I don't care if it's 2 days, 2 months, 2 years, or 2 decades. Love helping people buy that first home and many more after that. Bye-bye.